Right, so for those joining the video, I'll let you know that we're going to be needing to use a wall this morning, and you're going to need 2 blocks for our practice today. And we're going to begin lying down. So, and if you don't like to lie down for whatever reason, if you're stuffed up or just better for you to sit up, you can always choose to start sitting up. That's fine too. But make your way down to the floor, somewhere on your mat. And if you're lying down, if you have space, I'd like you to lie with your arms out. And if straight out's comfortable, straight out, or if it's more comfortable if they're dropped down a bit, that's fine too. And if you want to have your head supported with a blanket, by all means, do so. So we're lying with our feet on the floor, with our arms out at our side, and your arms in a position where they can comfortably rest into the floor, where it doesn't create any tension anywhere in the shoulders. So a comfortable position with your arms out at your side. And as you're here, really feel the weight of your feet settling into the mat, as if you were planting your right foot into the soil of the ground and planting your left foot into some warm soil. And then let the weight of your low back relax and settle into the floor. Feel your back, your spine relaxing, releasing, settling into the floor. So from your tail all the way along your spine until you reach the base of your skull. Just let your spine relax. Let the weight of your head release heavily back into the floor. And just feel a sense of releasing, settling, softening, opening as you lie back. Feel the weight of your arms, the elbows, the back of the hands resting into the floor. Just creating a sense of openness in the area around the heart. And as you're lying back, begin to notice your breathing. The feeling of your breath as it moves in, and the feeling of your breath as it moves out. Of course, we breathe in the lungs. The lungs live in the rib cage. And we notice the breath as it moves into the front of the body. Feel the chest rising, feel the ribs expanding, which sends the diaphragm down. So you might notice movement in your belly. And then all that movement happens as the breath empties as well. But of course, the breath moves into the lungs in the back of the body as well. It's harder to notice when you're lying on your back. But we want to feel that breath filling up the lungs and expanding the rib cage. So let's deepen the breath. Let it move to the front, the sides, the back of the lungs. Nice and full and deep and expansive. And then allow all that breath to release and empty. Lots of benefit in getting those lungs moving, getting the ribs moving, freeing up restriction in the upper body just by breathing. And can we do this deep breathing but maintain ease in the neck and the jaw? So maybe keeping the roof of the mouth soft and broad as we're breathing deeply in and out. And as you're breathing, Can you invite, as you breathe in, just invite a sense of love and kindness, like breathe in love and kindness for yourself with your in-breath. And as you breathe out, just let go of anything that's not love and kindness, anything that's bugging you, bothering you, anything that's worrying you or upsetting you. Let that go out with your out breath. So breathe in just nice gentleness, kindness, love for yourself. And breathe out and just let it be a releasing and a letting go. And just do that 2 more times. Breathe in positive air. And let the out breath take with it anything that's just what you don't need right now. We're just going to try to let this moment be a moment of love and kindness for ourselves. And then go ahead and start to transition your breath to a more natural breath. And let's make a commitment to moving for this next hour in a way that is with love and kindness for ourselves. Do this practice in a way that feels just right for what you need this morning. All right, let's take our feet off the floor and wrap our hands around our shins and hug them into chest and just sway a little bit. And then we'll sway to the center. We'll release our feet down. Let's extend the legs out and reach the arms overhead and take a big long stretch, fingers to toes, big breath in, reach, reach, reach. And then sweep your arms down and around. Let's slide the right leg in and give that right shin a hug. Hug the knee in close as the left leg is heavy on the floor. Take that knee, open it out to the side as you breathe in. Bring the knee back, grab it with both hands, hug it across your midline up towards your opposite shoulder and breathe into that outer hip. Bring the knee back, just point the foot and take the leg up in the air. Just hold behind the thigh and then flex your foot, push your heel up, pull your toes towards you. Just alternate again, pointing and flexing. And then let's circle the foot around in one direction. Nice big turns in each direction. And then circle it the other way. Just moving in a way that feels nice for your body here as we start to loosen up. And then bend that knee, release that foot down, bring the other knee in, grab the front of the shin and slide that first leg out on the floor. First leg on the floor is heavy, other knee is pulling in close. And then let's open that knee out to the side as we breathe in. Bring that knee back, grab it with both hands, bring it across the midline and towards the opposite shoulder and breathe into that outer hip. Let the knee come back, point the toe, take the leg up in the air, reach around, grab the back of the thigh, and then push the heel up, pull the toes down. Again, point and flex. Let's circle that foot in one direction, slow circles at the ankle, and then circle it the other way. Great, and then release that foot to the floor. Bring your other foot to the floor. If you got anything under your head, slide it away, clasp your hands under your head, let the weight of your head rest into your hands. Take a breath in and maybe give a little tug at the base of the skull so that your neck is nice and long here. We'll take another breath in. And as we exhale, let's just kind of knit the low ribs into the belly, start to curl up head, neck, and shoulders. See if you can get your shoulder blades off the floor, look beyond the knees, and then inhale and release back. Do that again. Exhale, knit and curl up. And let's bring the right knee in as we curl up here. And then we'll extend that right leg out as we inhale the head back. Again, exhale, curl up, right knee comes in. Inhale, extend the leg, head goes back. Again, curl up, knee comes in. Extend that leg as the head comes back. Now this time, lift that right leg up in the air as you curl up. And then bring that opposite elbow across. Try to lift that back shoulder blade off the floor. And then lower the leg as you inhale the head back. So again, leg comes up as you exhale, curl up and twist across. Lower the leg as you inhale back. Again, leg comes up, curl up, twist across. Inhale as you open. Exhale as you come up and twist across. Let's do 2 more like this, lowering and then coming up and coming across. Inhaling and opening, exhaling up and across. Great. We'll release that foot to the floor as we take the head back. You can give your head a little rest on your hands. And then again, lift your head up. Try to maybe take your thumbs and kind of just lengthen the base of the skull so that the neck gets a little bit longer. And then take a breath in. As you exhale, curl up head, neck, and shoulders and bring the left knee in toward the nose. And then extend that leg out as you inhale back. Exhale, curl up, knee comes in. Inhale, extend the leg as the head goes back. 1 more time like that. And then the next time the leg extends, let's bring that leg up in the air as we come up and then twist across. And then lower the leg as you inhale back. Exhale, curl up and twist across. Inhale, lower back. Again, exhale, come on up, twist, get that opposite shoulder off the floor. And again, exhale, come up and twist. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up and across. Let's do 2 more like this. Exhale, coming up, twisting across, inhaling, lowering. And after this next one, when you twist across, you can release that foot to the floor, release your head onto the floor, let your arms come to your side. Just take a moment to again feel the floor beneath you. Feel ease from your tail to the crown of your head. Take a breath in and out. And then let's roll to our sides. We're going to come onto our sides, and I want you to kind of line yourself up with the back line of your mat so that your head, your torso, your legs are, in line with your spine. Your head can rest on your bottom arm, and then take your legs on an angle forward. So if the back of you is lined up with the back of your mat, the heels are kind of towards the front corner of your mat. So there's just an angle of your legs. But then check that your ear, your shoulder, your hip are still aligned. And we're going to do some movement with the leg, and we're going to try and keep the hip stacked right over the bottom hip. So try not to let that hip rock forward or let it roll back. So let's take the top leg up to the height of the hip, and your foot can be flexed here. And we're going to just bring that leg forward. However far forward it feels right for you, trying to keep it at the height of the hip. And then we're going to swing that leg straight. And as it goes back, we're going to point the toe. And when we do that, this hip's going to want to rock forward, but try to keep the hip where it is. And then flex the foot as the leg comes forward, and then swing it out. And as it passes the line of the body, point the toe and take it behind. So trying to keep the leg at the height of the hip, flexing as you come forward. Trying to keep the hips stacked as the leg goes behind and you point the toe. Let's do a few more of these, flexing. And I like to keep my hand on this top hip. You could also have this hand on the floor for some stability here, but just paying attention to that, to keeping that hip from rocking forward or back. Let's do that 1 more time, swinging the leg forward and swinging the leg back. And then you could rest the leg for a minute, bring that leg even with the other leg, and we're going to turn the knee and the toe up. And then with the foot flexed, we're going to take the leg up, and then we're going to point as we come down. So we're going to flex and lift the leg up and point and lower the leg down. One more time like that, flexing as we go up and pointing as we come down. Now let's keep the toes pointed as the leg goes up, flex and lower, point and lift, flex. We got one more, and then we're done on this side. Point and lift, flex and lower. Nice job. You can rotate the leg forward and let that leg rest on the other leg. Good job. Let's push ourselves up and swing our legs around to the other side. Again, lowering yourself down so your body is aligned with the line of the back of your mat. Support your head in some way that's comfortable, and then take your legs on an angle forward towards the front of your mat. And then check that alignment, ear, neck, shoulder, hip. Try to keep the hips stacked. Again, this hand could be on the floor in front too. So then lift your top leg up to the height of the hip. With your foot flexed, bring the leg forward. And then as the leg goes straight, start to point the toes as the leg goes behind you without letting the hip roll forward. And then bring that leg forward, flex the foot, and then bring the leg back, point the toes, and just keep going like this. Make sure you're breathing. You're not holding your breath here. And we're moving the leg forward. We're swinging the leg back. And a couple more like that. Hip staying stacked right over the other hip. And then bring that leg even with the other leg. You can give it a break for a moment if you like. And then we're going to turn the foot and the knee up. And we're going to keep the foot flexed as the leg goes up. And then point the toe as the leg comes down. Flex and lift the leg up. Point and lower. One more time like that. Flexing as we go up and pointing as we lower. Now let's keep the toes pointed as the knee is pointing toward the ceiling as we do this. So instead of the leg turned towards your device, it's turned towards the ceiling. One more time, point and lift and flex and lower. Great, you can roll that leg forward, relax it down, and let's come up to kneeling on all fours. Nice work. All right, so as we arrive here on all fours, let's really plant our hands, spread out the weight on the hands. Of course, if it bothers your hands or your wrists to be here, you can always be here. You could always use the block to take that flexion a little bit out of your wrist. But arrive here and then just feel your spine, tail to crown. Take a breath in. As you exhale, start to drop your tailbone down and round through your low back, mid back, upper back. Push into your hands, drop your head, and take your hips slightly behind you. Just get a little more space between your vertebrae. Then rock forward and come to flat back. Start to lift your tail up, start to let the belly and chest sink, draw your heart forward, inhale, look forward. And then just move between those two movements a few more times on your own in a way that feels nice for your body. You might go a little slower, you might move a little front to back or side to side. You might just move it any way that speaks to you this morning. Find a way to move that feels good, that starts to wake up your spine. And then eventually returning to your long, flat back. And then we're going to go ahead and sit back on our heels. Let your arms, either your arms can reach way out in front and your forehead can come to the floor, or you might rest your head on your bent arms. You can bring your arms alongside your body. But let your forehead be supported by the floor. Your arms are a block, and then breathe into your back. Really creating movement and breath in the back of the heart now. Lots of space for the breath to move. Breathing in love, kindness. Breathing out whatever we're ready to let go of. And when you're ready, lift your head up and reach your arms out in front. Let's make our way to downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up and back as we ground through the hands. As you press into the floor and you draw your hips back, sometimes the shoulder blades creep in towards each other. Let's try to create space between the shoulder blades, space across the upper back. As the hips go up and back, let the head just dangle off of your spine, shake it out a little bit. We'll pedal the heels, one knee and one heel, opposite heel going down, and then the other knee and the opposite heel. Feeling the stretch all along the bottom of that calf, ankle, heel. And then bend both your knees, take your hips way up and back, feel the spine lengthening as you breathe in and out. Then walk your hands back towards your feet, lower your heels down. Take another breath into your upper back. Knees can be soft here as you release your breath. Then draw your belly in and start to roll yourself up. Take some time for your spine to unfurl. Slowly, gradually stacking your vertebrae. Feel your feet planted down as you roll up, eventually lifting your head up. And as your feet are planted now, take your arms and reach them out wide, straight out to your side. I'm just going to turn towards you. So your feet are planted, your arms are reaching straight out. See if you can create space across your collarbones, space between your shoulder blades as your hands, fingertips reach out as wide as you can. And then start to let the back of the hands reach back a little bit. So your arms are going to start to go past the plane of your body. Try not to do this by pushing the chest or ribs forward. Try to just let the arms go back, keeping the spine neutral. But you're stretching across the front of the arms, the front of the chest. Take a breath. Then let your arms come forward. Let's swing them down. Sweep your right arm under your left. Cross over and grab onto your shoulders. And give yourself a hug. If you want to turn towards your device, you can here. Give yourself a hug. You might, I like to do this little sway, kind of like you're hugging a loved one. Maybe let your chin drop to chest. Create a little space in the back of the neck. And then let's breathe into the area between the shoulder blades into the back of the heart. And let that breath empty out. One more big breath back there. And let your arms drop down. Again, we're going to reach the arms out wide as we can, broad across the chest and back. As you reach the hands back, the arms go back. We're not arching the back, and we're trying to keep some space between the shoulder blades. Take a breath. Then let the arms come a little forward. This time, sweep your left arm under your right. Let's see. Give yourself a hug. Hold on to those shoulders. You might drop your chin to chest and just take a couple breaths here into the back body. And let that breath empty out. Free up the back of the neck, the back of the shoulders with your next breath. And then let your arms drop down. Great. All right, let's pick up 2 blocks. And we'll stand towards the front of our mat. Stand nice and rooted and tall. Take a breath in. Just think about rooting down and lifting the heart. And then as we exhale, we're going to start to hinge forward. You can let your knees soften a bit. And we're just going to bring our hands down so that we have the blocks right under our wrists, right under our shoulders. Your feet can be hip distance apart here. We're going to take a big step back with, let's say, the right foot into a lunge. So then the blocks are a little forward, so let's bring the blocks back underneath our shoulders. So we're in a lunge, our feet are hip distance apart. can we let the hips sink down a bit as you press back through the heel and let the heart pull forward here. So as we're here, we can have a lot of weight on our hands, or we could lighten that weight a little bit, just put our fingertips on the blocks. You could even lower the blocks if that's better for you. Or you could have your hands on the floor, but a little support is fine. I'm going to use the blocks. All right, so you're pressing out through your heel, you're lengthening through your heart. Then let's just try to lift the hips up a little bit and straighten that front leg a bit. And take a breath. Your head can drop down. And then bend the front knee and lower the hips, lift the heart. Breathe in. Straighten the front leg a bit and let the head drop down. Breathe out. One more time. Inhale as you drop into this lunge, and exhale as you lift the hip, straighten the front leg. This time as we come into the lunge, let's go ahead and drop onto the back knee and the top of the back foot. So we've got the weight forward on that front foot, and that back hip is sinking down. And you might choose to just stay here. We could start to walk back. We could bring our hands on our front knee and lift the chest up a bit. So now can you let the hips move a little forward as your heart is lifting up? Maybe put a little weight in the back knee and shin. And you could keep your hand on your front leg or take the same arm as the back leg and sweep it up in the air. So as you're pressing that knee down, you're lengthening through the front of the thigh, lifting that front hip point up, lifting the arm, lifting the rib, the shoulder. You could add the other arm reaching up as well as you take a breath in. And then let's exhale our hands back down onto the blocks. We'll curl the back toes under and press up into our lunge. And then let's go ahead and step that back foot in so we're in the forward fold. And you can take your blocks and again, get them right under your shoulders, your wrists under your shoulders, and then maybe bend your elbows a bit and just let your head drop. Your knees can be soft here. We're breathing in this forward fold, breathe in and out. So we want our feet hip distance apart again and keeping that hip distance as we step the left foot back into a lunge. Bring those blocks more underneath you here and explore letting the hips sink a bit. Really grounding through that front foot and maybe pull your heart forward a bit. Look forward, breathe in. As you exhale, start to lift your hips up and straighten the front leg a bit. Doesn't have to get all the way straight. And you can let your head drop a bit here. So we're going to bend the knee, drop the hips, inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, straighten the front leg, let the head drop down. Again, bend, hips lower, heart lifts, and straighten, head drops. This time as we bend the front knee, we're going to go ahead and let the back knee come down and let the top of the foot rest on the floor. Let the weight move into that front foot as the hips sink down. And then lots of options here. You could just hang out here. You could bring your hands to your knee. This might be a comfortable place to stay. Can you put a little weight in the back knee and shin? You might choose to take the same arm as the back leg and stretch it up. As the knee presses down, the thigh lifts up, the hip lifts up, the rib lifts up, the shoulder lifts up. Maybe the other arm lifts up as well. Big breath in here. And then we'll exhale our hands down onto the blocks. We can curl the toes under and lift up into a lunge. And then we're going to step that back foot in. You might step the blocks a little more forward. So wrists under shoulders as your head drops down. Breathe in and out here. I like to keep my knees soft. You could stretch the sitting bones up and straighten the legs a bit if you like. And after your next breath empties, we're going to leave the blocks where they are. Just bend the knees, lower the hips, sweep the arms forward into a low chair. Arms could stay here or they could come up by the ears. We'll breathe in and out here. Let's push into the feet and legs to inhale and rise up, reach up. And we'll exhale our arms down at our sides. Nice work. All right, we're going to do something very similar to what we just did, that chair pose, but we're going to use the wall. We're going to go to the wall, and I want you to take your block and place it actually the narrow width between your thighs. So we're going to sit up against the wall. Hope you can see me back here. I guess I'll go here. And put the block between your thighs, and then put your low back on the wall and walk your feet a little forward so that you can kind of sit with your knees bent, with your back against the wall, and you're going to hug the block between your thighs. So your inner thighs are working. You've got your low back against the wall. Can you get your shoulders against the wall? Can you get the back of your head against the wall? That might be difficult for some of us. We're just going to be working in that direction. But I don't want you to take your head back by lifting your chin. So if to get your head against the wall, your chin is way up, don't get your head against the wall. Just think about tucking the chin and lengthening the back of the neck. So some of us, it's not going to work out to get the back of the head against the wall. So just think about the back of the neck long. And then take your arms out wide. So you're working the legs here, right? To be in this squat position, your quads are really working, your inner thighs are working to squeeze the block. We'll take our arms out. And this might be, your arms could be here, your arms could be straight out here, or some people might find that they could bend their arms. Wherever your arms are, can you press them into the wall? Press the back of the arms, if you can, the back of the hands into the wall, keeping the back of the neck long, keeping your low back on the wall, and squeezing into the block. Take a breath or two here. And you release the tension in the neck and the shoulders with your next exhalation. Nice. Then lower your arms, and you can push yourself away from the wall and take the block out. Great. All right. I want us to have our mats now so that they're, the back of the mat is against the wall. Okay. And you're going to be using a block. So I want you to put one heel against the wall. Let's say the right heel against the wall. And that foot is going to be kind of angling up towards the front left corner, front right corner of your mat. And then take a big step forward with your other foot, again, so it's in line with your hip. So you've got your back heel on the floor, that foot angled towards the front same corner of your mat. You've got your, we got to start, we need both our blocks. I apologize. You need both your blocks. So right heel against the wall, left foot big step forward, back foot angling towards the front corner of the mat. You've got our two blocks in our hands. We're going to start to hinge forward. And we're going to, again, get those blocks so our wrists are right under our shoulders. Our feet are hip distance apart. And as we've come forward, this front knee could be bent. That would be fine. Or whether it's bent or not, we're going to try and pull that hip back towards the wall. So you can even think about pulling your hip crease. You take your hand and pull your hip crease back so that your hips are kind of squared to the wall behind you. And as your hip goes back, the leg might get a little more straight, but if there's a little bend in the leg, that's fine. So as your hip draws back, can you lengthen your spine? Lengthen out through the crown of your head here. And take a breath. Really feel that back heel planted on the floor. That's your grounding here. The heel is pressing into the floor. The back foot is solidly planted. You might be getting a stretch in the lower part of that leg. So we're going to take a breath in here. As we exhale, you could stay right here and just maybe let the elbows soften a bit. You might lower the blocks a bit so you come down a bit further. into this fold, into this hinge. We're going to take another breath here. And on the next exhale, we're going to let the spine round. So you might let your elbows soften, let your low back round, your upper back, let your head drop down. So you've rounded your back, your head is releasing. Now let's breathe into the area in the back of the heart and let the breath go. Do that again. Big breath into the upper back and let the breath go. Great. Okay, lift your head up. Bring your blocks back up to the higher position, and then bring your hands to your hips. We're going to push into the front leg and we're going to rise up. Nice. All right, you can step that back foot forward, and then we're going to step the other foot back. So we want the heel right up against the wall. So heel right up against the wall. The foot is a little bit angled out, and then the front foot is forward. And then we're going to hinge forward and bring our hands onto the blocks. So as you hinge forward, that back heel might lift up. Can you root that back heel down? Feel that back foot planted and the back of the back heel against the wall. The front knee might be a little bit bent, but can you take that same hip, the front leg hip, and pull it back towards the wall? And as the hip pulls back, lengthen out through the crown of your head. Take a breath here. As you exhale, you could just soften your elbows a little bit, or you might drop a little lower on the blocks. At this point, we still have a long spine. We're going to take another breath in. And as we exhale, at this point, we're going to let the spine round. So your elbows might bend, your low back, your mid back, your upper back, release, your head drops down. And let's breathe into the back body here. In and out. One more breath. And then lift your head up. Bring your blocks up to the higher height. Feel your spine nice and long. And then bring your hands to your hips. Push into that front foot and rise up. Nice. All right, let's step that back foot in. And we're going to move the blocks aside. We're going to work like horizontally again. So I'm going to turn my mat to face this way. You can move your mat, you can move your device, whatever works for you. Okay, we are just going to use one block this time, and we're going to come into a wide stance. So come into a wide stance. Let's turn the left foot in and turn the right foot out. And then go ahead and bend your front knee and just set that block behind that foot. Okay, so we have our back foot turned in, back foot and hip turned in, front foot turned out, hips fairly level here as we bend the front knee and straighten the front knee. Keeping the back foot planted as the front knee bends and straightens. And then the next time the front knee bends, we're going to keep it bent. Let's try lifting that front heel just a bit, envisioning pulling the heel back toward the midline to kind of fire up the underline of the leg into the pelvic floor. We'll take a breath and then lower that front heel down. So with hands on hips, from right here in our center, let's tip the hips over. And we often let the arm go on the front thigh, and that's fine. Or you could reach back and place your hand on the block, just behind your ankle. And then you might sink a little lower into your side lunge here. Let's take this other hand forward and open that arm up toward the ceiling. Find a nice line, pushing down with the bottom arm, reaching up with the top arm. Take a breath. Then turn your head to look down at your front foot. With your gaze on your front foot now, can you start to straighten your front leg a bit? So try not to let your head draw back. Try to keep your head where it is as you're straightening your front leg. So your spine kind of lengthens out here. Breathe in and out here. You could turn your head forward if you like. You could turn your head to look up at the ceiling if you like. Take one more breath. Then bring that arm down. Bring that hand onto your hip. Looking at the floor again, bend into your front knee. We're going to straighten up here. We'll bring the block along. Let's turn our feet forward. And then we'll turn that right foot in, turn the left foot out. Go ahead and bend your front knee and just set your block down behind your ankle again. Come back up. So check that alignment. Back foot's turned in, back hip is turned in, front foot is turned out. Let's keep that back foot planted, the outer edge of that back foot as we bend the front knee and straighten it. And bend it and straighten it. This time as we bend it, we'll keep it bent. We're going to lift that front heel a little bit off the floor and feel as though we're pulling that heel back toward the midline. Feel that action that happens when you engage that pulling feeling in the heel. And then lower that heel down. And then from right down here, tip your hips over. You could have your forearm on your thigh, or maybe reaching for your block. Maybe you're getting a little lower in your side lunge here. Take your other arm forward and open it up toward the ceiling. So if your hand's on the block, press down to lift up. Take a breath here. Exhale your gaze to look down at your front foot. Breathe in and out. And then keeping your gaze right over your foot, can you start to straighten your front leg? Yeah, try not to let your head draw back as you do this. Breathe in and out here. And you could keep your gaze down. You could turn your gaze forward. You could turn your gaze up towards your top arm. Breathe in and out here. And then again, let's bring our hand to our hip. Bring our gaze back down, bend our front knee, push into that front foot to rise up. Turn your feet forward. And we're just going to heel into our feet in, and you could jump your feet together, whatever you like. Great. All right. We're going to make our way down. Let's do a little balance work before we come down to the floor. So it's going to be very similar to what we did before when we were giving ourselves that hug, but we're going to also do it with a little balance. So if you want to be close to a wall or close to a chair or something for support for a balance, we can do that. So let's start again with our arms reaching out wide, taking a breath. Then we're going to sweep the arms down, sweep the right arm under the left. Great. And then we're going to shift our weight from leg to leg. And we're going to end up with the weight on the left foot. And then we're going to root through that left foot. We're going to bring the other leg up. And then we're going to bend the standing knee and cross this top leg over. So you're balancing on that left leg. The other leg, you might cross your toes around your calf. Your upper arms are holding on, or you could do eagle arms. You could put your hands together. And we're just going to breathe and balance here. Whoops. Make sure you're breathing into the area between your shoulder blades, across your upper back. Stay for another breath or two. And then uncross your legs, straighten up, shake it out. All right, we'll do the other side. Inhale your arms out. Exhale, cross your left arm under your right. Give yourself a hug. And then just kind of shift your weight side to side. And then end up with your weight on your right foot. Lift your other leg up. As you cross over, bend your standing leg. So you're pressing your top thigh onto your bottom thigh. Your arms could be hugging, or you could bring your hands into eagle arms. Looking out beyond your arms, beyond your hands. Breathe in and out here as we balance here. Grounding through that standing foot. Connecting with your breath. Waiting for maybe another breath or two. And uncrossing and releasing. Nice. All right, let's come down. We're going to find our block. And I want you to sit on your block the long way. So set the block down and sit up on your block. And once you're on here, really get your sitting bones rooted on your block. Bring your feet together. And let your knees fall open. So if this is, not comfortable on one hip or the other, you can kind of support yourself with a block if that's more comfortable. But can you reach down now and just take your thumbs and just kind of massage your feet a little bit? Maybe massage the arches of your foot with your thumbs. Maybe just kind of squeeze and give a little love to the balls of your feet. Give a little rub and circulation and squeeze your toes. Work the tops of your feet a little bit. Maybe rub your ankles a bit. Or do whatever feels nice for you for working your feet a little bit. Just offer yourself a little love and kindness here for yourself. Warm them up if they're a little chilly. And just do that for another breath or two. Just relaxing, softening your feet with love and kindness. And then we're just going to cross the legs, if that's comfortable for you. If this isn't comfortable, we're going to do a seated twist. So if you want to go be on the floor or be in a chair, that would be fine too. We're just going to do a gentle twist. So as we're up on the block, we can maybe feel our sitting bones rooting down into the block and then feel that line of your spine. Keeping this line, so not veering to the side or forward or back, keeping that line of your spine. Let's take the right fingertips behind. Take the left arm across on the opposite knee. We're going to try to keep the hips facing forward as the upper body spirals around towards that back hand. The head can just follow. Once you've spiraled around to the right, can you bring that right hip bone back towards your midline? Feel the line of your spine that you're spiraling around, and then take a few deep breaths in and out here. Breath flows in with love and kindness for yourself. And the emptying breath is a releasing and a letting go. A couple more like that. And your head, your arm, just unwinding back around. Rooting the sitting bones down, feeling the spine. Feel that line of your spine. Maintain that line as the other hand goes back, the other arm comes across. As you start to spiral around that line, your head can follow, but then that left hip bone, draw it back towards the midline. And then the rest of the body spirals around. And then we'll breathe in and out. Deep breaths. Filling up the lungs. And then letting the breath empty out. 2 more times. So much love coming in with your breath. And then letting it all go. And then releasing back around. All right, we'll come off of our blocks. And we're going to make our way down onto our backs. Again, at this point, if you're more comfortable with a little blanket under your head, this would be a fine time to put something there. Let's lift our feet up, pull the knees in, and then draw the knees apart. We'll lift our heels up. We can grab the heels and pull the weight of the heels over the knees. We could take 2 fingers and grab the big toes, or we could grab the outsides of the feet. Let's just sway a little bit side to side. And you might just want to stay here, just holding on to whatever you're holding on to or swaying. You could also bring a heel in and open the other leg out to the side and take a breath. And you might bring that heel back in, take the other leg out to the side, out and down, taking a breath. You could bring that heel in and just stack your heels over your knees, or you might take both legs out and pull out and down and take a breath. And then letting the heels come back in toward the midline. Let go of whatever we're holding on to. Release the feet to the floor. Feet about as wide as our mats. Let's let our knees drop in toward the midline. Take a breath here. And then separating the legs. We're going to start to transition to our final relaxation. If you want to do one more movement, you may. If you want to take a few moments to get warm and comfortable, you might put on some socks or cover up with a blanket or put on a layer. Take whatever time you need so that you can lie down very comfortably with any support that would be beneficial under your head or under your knees. And then lying down so your arms can relax, so your legs can relax. Go ahead and let the weight of your hips settle into the floor. Let your belly soften and unclench. Let your shoulders drop back. Let your arms be heavy. Let your head be heavy. Let your eyes relax. Let your forehead smooth out. Let your jaw relax, let your throat soften. And in this lovely, relaxed place, let's just offer some loving kindness to ourselves. So if you like, you can kind of repeat quietly to yourself after me. May I be healthy and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be filled with love and kindness. May I be happy. Maybe say that to ourselves again. May I be healthy and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be filled with love and kindness. May I be happy. Really feel yourself sending these messages to yourself. Allow yourself to receive this sentiment, this feeling of love and kindness. And then we can move on. We'll do some loving kindness practice. So let's bring to mind someone in our mind's eye who we love and care for, someone who's dear to us. Hold their image in your mind's eye and say to them, may you be healthy and well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be happy. Saying to that loved one again, may you be healthy and well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with love and kindness. May you be happy. Send that offering. Maybe feel them receiving. And then moving on. Next, in this loving kindness practice, we try to bring to mind the image of a neutral person, someone you recognize. You may not even know their name, but someone you interact with regularly that you can bring to your mind's eye, not a close friend, just someone you interact with regularly, grocery store, post office, coworker, whatever. And hold the image of that person in your mind's eye. And to this fairly neutral person, say to them, may you be healthy and well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with love and kindness. May you be happy. May you be healthy and well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with love and kindness. May you be happy. Send that message. Maybe feel them receiving. And then we'll move on. Next, we bring to our mind's eye a difficult person, someone we really struggle with, someone for whom we may have some hard feelings, some negative feelings. And hold that image of that person in your mind's eye and say to them with feeling, the best you can, may you be healthy and well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with love and kindness. May you be happy. Again, saying to that challenging person, may you be healthy and well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with love and kindness. May you be happy. Send that offering to that challenging person. And maybe feel a bit of reception. And then just send loving kindness out into the world. Let that message, that feeling of loving kindness that you've been sharing with yourself and others, just send that out into the world. May all beings be healthy and well. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. May all beings be filled with love and kindness. May all beings be happy. Send it out. And then just finish up grounding that loving kindness back into your heart. Let's maybe take our hands and place them on our heart. And ground that love, kind energy back into us. Take a breath there. When you're ready, begin to open your eyes. Bring your feet to the floor. You could stay there longer if you like. Otherwise, just roll to your side. Take a few moments to transition. And then with kind gentleness, when you're ready, you can make your way up to sitting. Once you're sitting, just take a moment to close out your practice. Maybe taking a few moments for gratitude for this day, for this life, for this amazing experience we have being alive. Grateful for all of you for being here this morning. Peace to you. Wonderful day.